I what?
You can't change the iris or anything.
Oh, that.
Okay, just try and, guys, just try and speak loudly and clearly, okay? And your time starts now.
Thank you. Okay, so human-computer interaction, a speculative discourse, or a speculation about the future of where HCI is going to go. And HCI itself was a term actually popularised by Card, Moran and Newell in their book, The Psychology of Human-Computer Interaction. And as you can see here, from the dawn of computing to where we are now, it's actually undergone something of a change. The original punch card computing actually offered very little in the way of interaction. In fact, if you wanted something done by a computer, it wasn't you that interacted with it at all. HCI has actually undergone massive changes since this point. Not always accepted by everybody, as Toffler refers to it as future shock. People that are scared and won't learn the new technologies that are coming out. So it's become very apparent through HCI that the study of how people react and learn with human-computer interaction needs to be focused on. So if we move on to what is the basis of everything we use now, which was the first modern WIMP-based systems of Windows, icons, menus, pointer. This is the Xerox Star. It was the first sort of graphical user interface. And it's the first time anybody's designed something with the user in mind first. Everything before that was just functional. So you've got the original PCs. They're just all text-based rubbish, very difficult to use, not user-friendly in any way, shape or form. But the ability to interact with graphical objects on the screen was just a lot simpler and more functional. With the advances of screen technology, we've actually led up to now sort of LCD, LED and HD screens, and they're becoming more and more popular, even in the home with sort of smart TVs and things like that. That actually contain smart features that you'd normally find on a computer, so sort of web browsing and bits and pieces. And some TVs, for instance this one here, one of the Samsungs, actually offers real future technology in gesture recognition to control what the TV's doing, change the channel, change the volume, bits and pieces like that. The screens are getting bigger and thinner and more detailed, but at the same time they're going the other way as well. They're getting smaller and more mobile, and it's a mobile world now of computer interaction. And this is actually part of the advert for when the original iPad was released. I'll just play this quickly.
It's crazy powerful. It's magical. You already know how to use it. It's 200,000 apps and counting.
Now, Apple are the crowned princes of user interaction. And as that advert states, you already know how to use it. That's because they focus on familiar patterns found in sort of human learning. Anything from you instinctively as a child, you want to reach out and touch things and find out what they are. And with the new touchscreen technologies, you can do just that. And it's simple things like swiping. If you want to get rid of something, you push it out of the way. It's a simple reaction. If you want to make something bigger, you stretch it. So you stretch it on the screen. And it's actually Apple that led the way again with voice recognition. Now, voice recognition already existed in small ways on other systems. You had voice dial on earlier mobile phones, but it wasn't good. You had voice interaction on early PCs as well. But Siri.
What's my day look like?
Not bad. Only 2 meetings today.
Can I walk to the Belvedere Hotel from here?
Here are directions to Belvedere Hotel.
Siri came out and caused a massive stir because all of a sudden you had your own personal assistant on a phone. It would actually understand you speaking to it in quite a casual way and respond in the correct way. There's a few teething problems, obviously, because you need to be connected to the internet virtually all the time for it to work properly. And sometimes it doesn't quite grasp what you're saying, but it's certainly moving in the right direction. Now, the other area of HCI is gesture control, and Microsoft have actually come out with the Connect.
You don't need to know anything you don't already know. Or do anything you don't already do. All you have to do is be you. You are the controller.
So that kind of says it all. You are the controller. It's feeding on the familiar movements, anything from physically driving the car to running on the spot to run down a track. It's also got sort of a limited voice recognition, so you don't even have to touch the Xbox anymore to operate anything on here. Right, we move on now to context-aware data use. Now, everything coming together, PCs have already started to learn a little bit about you as you go along, sort of tracking cookies and things, know what you've been looking at previously on the internet. You've probably all seen it, the little advertising bars down the side come up spookily with exactly what you were looking at 2 pages ago. They've started using more and more context-aware data to predict what you want and how you want it. So the use of augmented reality started, which, I'll show you, this is the Nokia City Lens. Now this is one of the better augmented realities at the moment. And when I say augmented reality, in this instance, it's an image of the real world overlaid with data, context-aware data from where you are.
I want to know what's around me, actually around me. This is where City Lens comes in. One tap gets me into the app. One more tells it what I want. That's when the camera turns on, overlaying all the close restaurants around me. The distance, star rating, and name of each location appears in a crisp, easy-to-read menu.
And it's these augmented realities combined with GPS sensors that are giving us context-aware, on-the-spot information, whether it be local restaurants that we might like, our friends that might be in the area, anything these days. It's more about computers are starting to interact more with us. And moving forwards, it's HCI as a term has actually sort of reached a plateau now. We have all of the interaction we need. We have touch control. We can talk to it. We can gesture at it and wave at it. There really aren't that many more possibilities to explore. We can make those things better, but as we see here, this is a video from Microsoft. It's a prediction of 2019, it's only 7 years away. But they aren't doing anything there we don't do now. So I don't think HCI as a thing is going to evolve anymore. The quality will get better, but it's more about how computers actually interact with us and how computers are used. I mean, if this is correct, they'll be everywhere, and there's no reason why not. New technology, OLED, organic light emitting diodes, is leading to flexible screens. I mean, this is technology that is available now. So it's more a case of less augmented reality, but more screens and computers absolutely everywhere. A ubiquity area.
Time's up, Paul.
Thank
Do
you.
you want to finish up, or are you done?
Yeah, I'm about there actually. Yeah, so I mean, I'm a little stuck actually as to where to move forwards in my case study. I was originally going to use augmented realities in the sense of an image of the real with augmented data over it. Whereas I think now I'm more interested in the shape of the real and how it's going to be augmented by physical computers and touchscreens. I'm open to opinion, questions.
Well done, Paul. It was very, very informative. You've done your homework. We'll open it to the floor then. So I'll just throw something out there. So you're essentially what you've said is you're not quite sure what your case study might be yet.
Yes.
Can anyone maybe see something that Paul can't see in what he's been looking at?
In my own personal opinion, is it's actually all about the technology. We are there on the interactions front. It just needs that little tweak to get the quality there. But they're really, other than the lunatics that experimented slightly with brain controlling computers, that can't be a good thing. We are pretty much there.
I think cost could be a factor to this, obviously.
Cost is definitely a factor.
To be able to install like that many
Yeah,
monitors
cost is
everywhere.
definitely a factor. But cost is coming down all the time.
It may be a good idea to examine something like that. I mean, what you predict, how long it might take for us to reach that point
Yeah.
for this to be possible.
I mean, I did have a thought about how this much technology surrounding us would actually affect us as people. I mean, we're already obsessed with imagery.
Is there any
And
way
would that bombard us even more?
yeah, like analysing how long it took from the first computer to get to the stage we are now, and then looking at all that period of time? Obviously it's going to be quicker, but how much quicker it will be and how much it will impact
Yeah,
on the human race because of the impacts we've had before,
yeah, yeah.
and what stage, like predict the stage we could get to, and will we be controlled by computers, will they be the overwhelming power?
That's what I was just
It's
about to
it's
say.
extreme.
We're going
But it's,
Skynet.
um,
We're going Skynet terminal.
What Jez is trying to outline is an epistemic point of view, i.e. we look at the historical context and the timeline to come up with some kind of unitary measure of how things have changed, and then try and use that imaginary, critical, analytical ruler
Yeah.
to kind of start from now and then lay it out again.
Mm.
I found one thing that I'm going to not pick a hole in, but it's something that I think you've overlooked, and that is you're saying that contextually what you're saying is correct, but remember this is a speculative discourse.
Yeah.
What you've not addressed is how we might evolve.
I think the point is that we aren't. The systems
now
are evolving.
that's a bold claim, Paul.
The technology is evolving a damn sight faster than we ever.
Yes, I'll agree with that.
And to be honest, with the gearing of how interaction is, there's not that much need to evolve because it's becoming so natural. It's like having a conversation.
Okay, all right. Let's hear what Matt has
No,
to
that's
say.
exactly what I was going to say. I mean, he already basically answered your question during his presentation when he said that we do most of this stuff already. There is no need to evolve. There won't be much in the way of evolving with technology.
Well, we have evolved socially.
Yeah, I mean I'm talking about the way the human race is evolving from a Darwinian perspective.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm talking about the evolution of species.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that we're getting older and we're staying alive longer. Now that is one very physical element of evolution, and I still think that there is a gap, Okay, they call them. There's this notion of silver surfers and what.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now I still think yes, technology is moving faster than we know what to do with it, you know, or come up with. But I still think there's a gap. I think there's a gap. I think it's unfair. It would be unfair for you not to at least acknowledge an evolutionary perspective on us, because if you're going to look at it technology-wise,
Yeah.
then you've got to look at it from us as a
Right.
species-wise.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
And I think I know what you've done. You've got carried away with the technology,
Yeah.
and you've kind of you've drawn an assumption that this is all we need to do with it. Well, I don't know, and nor do you.
No. Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So perhaps maybe.
I was gonna
Go on, Dave.
carry on with exactly what kind of Simon's trying to point out, and I think it would be a really good thing for you to look at in your case study, and that's how human-computer interaction is impacting on media products. So it's the content maybe is what you could start to look at, and actually that would support your practical work as well, because you're a media producer, you want to engage with audiences. Great, you've got this amazing technology that Simon says people don't even really properly know how to use, and this, you could do quite a lot of research into really experimental, innovative media products. Augmented reality games, you know, there's role play games that people do in, you know, in cities and things like that. So you do know about it because you're like, you know, I'm sure we could have really interesting conversations about.
The other thing I think you've missed a trick with as well, which I think you're probably going to have to address, is Baudrillard's theory of postmodernism. You
Yeah.
kept referring to the terminology,
Yeah.
the real, the desert. Well, not you didn't say the
Yeah.
desert, the real, but the real, and how augmented reality is more real than real reality. And I was hoping because you mentioned Topper, you mentioned Newell. I was hoping that you were going to mention maybe Clark, some other people that we've discussed, and you just didn't mention them. But you're going to have to deal with the notion of postmodernism, and of course the theoretical understanding of aesthetics as well. I think most definitely look in your critical analysis dictionary.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to have to draw that to a close. Thanks, Paul.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
That was good. It was very, very informative. Helen, I'll give you 2 seconds to get. Do I just? Yeah.